This is the Under the Ring Report. And now, the only two wrestling fans in the world who absolutely understood everything that came out of the Ultimate Warrior's mouth, John the Flesh Wound, and Cousin Tom.
Welcome, wrestling fans. Another edition of the Under the Ring Report. With you, as usual, John and my co-host here, Tom. How the hell are you doing today?
I am doing great. Let's see. Last time we talked, or a few episodes ago, I was complaining about teaching my kid to drive. I have a progress report. Oh, yeah, progress report. We're about 5 hours in on the road, and it's getting better. I'm learning a little patience, which that's a daily struggle, but it is getting better. So thumbs up to that.
Well, you have more patience than I. That's why I have no kids. I don't have to worry about that. But for those who do have a lot of patience, some of the things we're going to be talking about, you have to have a lot of patience to sit through some of the movies we're going to be talking about, because this is something that you brought up a couple months ago, I think, because you really wanted to find out what people thought of their favorite wrestling movie of all time, and we kind of evolved that to some other topics, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we have favorite movie of all time, favorite wrestler in a movie, and then, on the flip side, we've got the least favorite movie about wrestling and the least favorite movie with a wrestler. So,
and let me tell you something. I actually did a little research. There are a lot of wrestlers that were in some movies I had no freaking clue even existed. And I'll put some trailers up on our Twitter account when we're done, because seriously, I had no clue some of this shit even existed. It was so bad.
I know some that you're speaking of.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get into that. I don't want to give it all away, but yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah. And then we'll end the show with, we haven't done it in a few weeks because we've had All In, we've had all kinds of other things going on, but we'll hit back with our hot tag and get into that, because you know what? There's a lot of topics going on right now, including Smackdown 1000 that just happened, the whole Saudi Arabia crap, and so we'll have a quick chance to zip into that real quick with our hot tag. So,
sounds good to me.
Without further ado, Tom, why don't you kick this show off?
All right, let's start off with our top movie about wrestling. And we threw up a Twitter poll, if I'm not mistaken, that had four options on there.
Yep.
I believe we had The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke.
Okay.
No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan. Nacho Libre.
Rip!
And the last one was Beyond the Mat. And according to our Twitter poll, The Wrestler was Twitter's vote for top movie about wrestling.
Okay.
It's hard to argue with. I would agree. I'm a movie lover.
Yeah.
I watch movies to be entertained. Sometimes I watch movies that, I like documentary. I like everything. I enjoy a good movie. But when it comes to a movie that's actually about wrestling, I think that one got about as real as any movie could get, as far as showing the life of a professional wrestler.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mickey Rourke did an incredible job of portraying kind of a washed-up wrestler. And it's sad to say, but there are a lot of guys out there that live that life, and the wrestler did a really good job of portraying who those guys are. We've all been at those local feds where there's 20 guys in the gym, and there's that guy who 20 years ago was one of the top talents in WWE, and there he is hoping to make $50 for the night, because what else is he going to do? He doesn't know anything. He doesn't have the education to do anything. And that's the only way he knows how to make money. And there are a lot of guys out there still doing that crap. And I feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
And the wrestler kind of brings light to that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the funny thing about that movie, well, not really funny, but when I watched it at the time, you got to go back however many years that was, I kept thinking about Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because his story is famous by now. But at the time, DDP hadn't helped him out.
No.
He was still down and out. And that's the guy that I was like, man, this is too real, as far as guy in a trailer with, no money left. And
every weekend he's doing whatever he can, because that's all he knows. And he can't afford hospital bills. He can't do anything. That's the problem. The guy, the only thing he can do is wrestle. And that's the sad part about it. Now, The Wrestler, I like The Wrestler also, but it may not be the best movie to me, but still, I don't care. But No Holds Barred is the most cheesiest, but the freaking 13, 14-year-old me loved that movie, because Hulk Hogan was at his height right then. And you know what? To see him on the big screen and wrestling Zeus in a movie, I don't care how bad that movie was. I paid. I was at the theater. I watched that. I love that movie. And I don't care what anyone says. To me, that was an awesome movie.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that also on our worst wrestling movie poll?
It was, but like I said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And to me, I'm going to put that as one of my favorite movies of all time. So kiss my ass. Because I would also say is that Nacho Libre, which is on that, is a piece of shit. But that's me. I turned that movie off probably 20 minutes in. I thought it was so bad.
Oh, you had to stick it out. It's worth it.
Ain't got time, man. Ain't got time for crap like that.
I wore my stretchy pants.
I do have a Nacho Libre mask. So there you go. There is that.
Well, there you go. See? What was the other one there? Oh, Beyond the Mat.
And that's great.
Documentary.
Yeah, that's a documentary, and it's a little different than the others, but it is a really great movie.
Well, and I think that one's most famous for the match with The Rock and Mankind, and Mick Foley's wife and kids are front row as their dad's getting beaten in the head with a chair, 12, 15 times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, whole different age.
Well, and now people would look at that and go, what the hell? I mean, we didn't know. But and there's a few other movies that people pushed in there too. And another one that is in the same vein as Beyond the Mat was Wrestling with Shadows with Bret Hart and the whole behind the scenes thing. That was another great one at that time. When we mentioned wrestling, it's unfortunate, but a few of our friends don't know the difference between professional wrestling and amateur wrestling. Because I had a lot of votes for Vision Quest.
It's a little different singlet action than what I wanted to see.
Yes, it is a little different and not in the same vein as what we were looking for, but still, congrats to you who voted for Vision Quest because it had the name Wrestler in it. Okay, great job.
Hey, still a good movie.
Yeah.
Just not what we were looking for.
No, not what we were looking for at all. Worst wrestling movie.
There's a lot to choose from there.
Well, I'm going to jump right off the top. Ready to Rumble is a piece of shit. WCW, I feel, was already on the slide, and then they put all that money into this garbage, made David Arquette a WCW champion just to promote this steaming pile of crap. And I mean, dude, I watched it.
What's more WCW than that?
I watched it. It was so bad. Oh my God. What the hell was his name? What was the guy who was the king or whatever the heck?
King. The King.
Yeah, but what was the actor's name? I can't remember his name.
Oh, Oliver Platt.
Yes. And I mean, Oliver Platt as a wrestler. Come on. It was so bad. And
you just couldn't believe it, huh?
No, you could not believe it at all. And I'm just sitting there going, wow, this is just a showcase to get Goldberg over and DDP over and all these WCW wrestlers over. And all it did, I think, is really turned wrestlers against WCW or fans against WCW because it was so bad.
Yeah.
And then if you want to think of other wrestling movies, what else is out there that you're going to, I mean, some people are going to say that No Holds Barred is garbage.
Well, yeah, I would be one of those people.
You didn't enjoy your childhood. I'm sorry.
All right. You ready for me to blow your mind on this one? Of all the crap that I have watched in my lifetime, and you're going to fall on the floor when I tell you this, No Holds Barred, I have never watched the entire movie from start to finish in one sitting.
Well, then how can you say it's bad?
No, I've seen the movie, but it's always been in segments. It's just, I've never actually sat. It's like, I'll watch it for a while, and it's like, okay.
All right. You be that way, but I'm going to say this. I can help it. My worst movie of all time, okay? And that Ready to Rumble is the easy pick. But the other one, and a lot of people have not even had a chance to see it. I think I even posted the trailer a few weeks ago on Twitter. It's Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies. It is so bad. I mean, Piper's in it. Matt Hardy's in it. Kurt Angle is in it. It is so bad. It is.
Oh, don't leave out Hacksaw.
Yeah, Hacksaw's in it, but oh my gosh, it is the quintessential B movie. It is so bad.
Yeah, yes, it is. I can't argue that one. When you posted that trailer,
you're okay. That movie. Yeah, because I remember when because it came out in 2013, and I remember when there was the rumblings that were people going to be in it, and I've not watched the whole movie. Trust me. I've watched the trailer. I've watched snippets from this and that, and I don't need to watch any more. You can already tell how bad a movie is just by a few points of the movie right off the bat.
Well,
and
it looked like somebody was holding a Sony Handycam.
No, it's horrible.
For the whole movie.
So what we'll do is we'll move right along because we've got movies about wrestlers. Okay, that's done. Let's hit Worst wrestler in a movie. And I think The Marine is where you're going to really want to put that and some of the other movies you were talking about. So I'm going to let you go ahead.
All right. So we're going to go worst movie with a wrestler in it. Well, actually, we had a Twitter. One of the guys on Twitter threw a good one up, which I forgot about. And that was Triple H and Blade Trinity.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
I forgot about. I went to the theaters and watched that movie because I love Blade.
Anybody. I wouldn't tell anybody, man.
Yeah, well, Blade 1, yes, but that one, yeah, I forgot about that. And there's a great scene in that movie where he's like chasing down a truck. I mean, he's got that massive Mongo forehead, anyways. He's got the vampire makeup on, and oh my God, it's just awful. There was no, let's just say he didn't really have to act a whole lot. He just had to scowl. Yeah, bad.
Okay. Well, let's see. I've got to kind of, if I start kind of ripping through some things that pop in my head, I go back to, I think it's 2009 the movie was, and it was called Endgame. And you may have remembered all the trailers and stuff if you were watching TNA at the time. Kurt Angle in Endgame. And it was, if I recall, is about Angle was a psychotic serial killer who killed women after sex. And I'm like, what? What the hell?
Yeah.
What? This makes no sense. So and go look up the trailer. You'll just shake your head. It made no goddamn sense why he was even involved in it. But yeah, Endgame with Kurt Angle is one that I'm like, really?
All right.
I told you, I told you, dude, I was digging.
Should I give you my Roddy Piper one now?
Yes, I know you want to talk about this one, so let's hear it because I've got another Piper one.
Okay, so the Hell Comes to Frogtown, which was a standard every 3 weeks on USA's Up All Night. Hell Come to Frogtown.
Oh God!
At least once a month. So Piper's hired by the government to repopulate the Earth because too many people are sterile. Half the people that survive the nuclear bombs are part frog, and it's just bad. It's so bad. So, I can't even give you the premise without laughing.
Well, I want you to get on Google.
13-year-old me loved that crap.
Well, there was nothing else on at that time either, so it was great to watch. But I want you, when you get a chance, to Google River of Darkness from 2011. All right? And you're probably going, What the hell?
I'm trying to think. Do I know what this is? But I don't think I do.
All right. So we've got in this movie Kurt Angle, who's playing a deputy. All right. Kevin Nash and Psycho Sid. So Kevin Nash and Psycho Sid play, I guess they're supposed to be ghosts or something that were killed in the river, and they come back and kill people. And it is like quintessential B-movie shit. It is so awful. And like I said, there's a trailer out there. You get a chance. At that point, I think Angle and all those guys were just looking for any work they could get because they were working for TNA at the time anyway. So, hey, could I work on your crap movie? All right, I'll try to be an actor. And then you watch this thing, and you're like, nope, not going to work.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Man, you were digging.
Well, I've got another one, too, and you're going to laugh your ass off when I sent you a link as we're talking in Facebook for the trailer.
Oh, okay.
And that's what yeah. And it is so bad, and I'm going to guarantee
I haven't looked at it yet.
I'm going to guarantee you've never even heard of this movie. That's my guess.
Probably not, because you're pulling out, I'm impressed. You're pulling out stuff.
This movie stars Roddy Piper. This was in 2008, and it's called The Mystical Adventures of Billy Owens. And evidently it's about a kid who discovers that he can do magic on his 11th birthday. And Piper is there to try and help this kid at a store that does magic stuff. And it is so goddamn awful. All these movies, unfortunately, these guys were doing were B-level movies because they were grabbing anybody they could, hoping they could make a buck. And this was done in Canada. It was a knockoff, so it was done in Canada. It was pretty freaking terrible. But you didn't know about that movie, did you?
No, I did not. No. I was going to throw out the Suburban Commando as one of my.
Well, that's worst. A good one too. How about 1996? Have you ever heard of the movie Day of Warrior? That one stars Buff the Stuff Bagwell, baby. He is a villain in a softcore porno movie. How about that shit?
Well, dude, that's like art recreating life right there. That's before his Cowboys and Angels run.
That's right. See, I decided to do a little research here. Not just the easy shit. I was going deep. I wanted to make sure I could find the shittiest movies possible.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So there you go.
I was just going off memory of the crap that I watched.
Oh, no, man.
So.
I was doing, I'll have to send you the trailer for this piece of shit because there's nothing good about this one. I mean, that's kind of probably why he ended up doing the gigolo bullshit later on, because it was just that bad. I mean, there's all kinds. I mean, I'm going to throw some others out there, and I can't tell you much about them, but Sting did a movie in 2000 called Shutter Speed. It was evidently a TV movie that was filmed in 99, released in 2000. I don't know much. I don't know much about it, to be quite honest, but
while we're talking about WCW people, I got to give a shout out to Bill Goldberg and his key movie that he did was Jean-Claude Van Damme. So the sequel to Universal Soldier with Bill Goldberg. Oh, and soundtrack by Megadeth, because WCW had to make sure they had Megadeth on, if you remember that.
I remember that because for some weird fucking reason, they changed this damn thing for no whatever.
Yeah, it was cross promotion, baby.
See, and you know what? I actually didn't think that was a bad movie to me.
Oh, no.
But I personally, my favorite Bill Goldberg, I mean, if we're talking Bill Goldberg movies, I have to give my personal worst Bill Goldberg movie is Santa's Sleigh. Have you seen that?
I have not seen it, but I have seen a trailer, believe it or not, for that movie.
Go watch it, enjoy. That's all I got to say. I won't even tell you the whole story. It's just, number one, it's funnier than hell that a Jewish man is playing Santa Claus. Number two, a Santa Claus that is a killer.
Yeah, isn't that something? That was probably before he had children.
Yeah, I think that was back in 2005, maybe, if I recall. All right, so we've talked about worst actors, wrestlers in a movie. So let's go ahead and get to the good part. Who is your favorite actor / wrestler in a movie? No Rock.
Oh, man.
Can't be The Rock, man.
And it can't be The Rock. Well,
I'm just kidding.
No, it's not. My favorite actor in a movie, I've got two. I'll give you one. The first one is Roddy Piper in They Live. But you know what? You can have a bad movie that is also your favorite movie. You know what I mean? Everyone's got that guilty pleasure, and They Live for me is that guilty pleasure. Do what?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, really? No idea, huh?
Nope. Don't watch that shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have any guilty pleasures that you enjoy watching?
Nope.
No, not at all.
I have a high level of entertainment I have to hit. I got time for that shit.
I don't believe it for a second. But my second one, I'll give you my second one, then you can go. That would be Andre the Giant and Princess Bride.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah. He's really good in that.
I mean, he was perfect in that movie. I mean, that movie is just a classic movie anyways, but we just got to see a different side of Andre that a lot of people didn't get to see.
All right. So if I have to go with favorite wrestler in a movie, there's a lot you can go with, but I mean, to me, it's got to be Jesse the Body Ventura in Predator. Come on, man.
That's got the greatest.
Hey, you're
line.
bleeding.
He's got the greatest.
I ain't got no time to bleed.
Yep. That's got to be one of the best lines ever.
I know. And I mean, he was a legitimate badass in that movie. So to me, yeah, Jesse the Body Ventura, he had a lot. He had just some quick lines that stole the show to me. And that was perfect. Yep. It wasn't like he was great or whatever the hell. And I don't know. That to me is always going to be my quintessential number one guy go-to right there.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, once you said who it was and what movie, it's like I already knew the line before you said it. That's just a great line. Like if I was Carl Lewis, I'd be like, why did I get that line? Instead, you guys cut my arms off. What's the deal with that?
So you got yourself any more?
I gotta throw a little shout out cameo to the Macho Man Randy Savage in Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
I was sitting at the movies watching that, and when he goes into the wrestling, you know, he puts his gear on and wants to make some money in the wrestling ring, and then it's Macho Man, and I'm elbowing my wife. That's the Macho Man. That's the Macho Man.
God. All right, so I'm gonna say, to me, there's a couple in there. Terry Funk, who had a couple good roles, and these were all in the 80s because he was a bodyguard in Over the Top, and he was also in Roadhouse. with Patrick Swayze. So I give him credit, and a little love to Kevin Nash and Magic Mike,
Yeah.
Gotta give him a little love for that. And George the Animal Steel, to me, is also one who, it wasn't funny. He did a great job in Ed Wood. That's the other thing you got to remember about that.
Well, you might want to throw out the Adam Sandler remake of the Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, those guys were, they were pretty good.
They were, Kevin Nash crying because of being given estrogen pills.
True.
That was a pretty decent, it was funny. It was definitely funny. You mentioned Over the Top. You also got to throw out, for a split second, Scott Norton was in there.
Yeah, he was there real quick.
Yeah, just real quick. But, of course, he was a legitimate arm wrestler at one point in time. He was like the top guy for a while.
I mean, you can go Easy, and you can go Jerry Lawler in Man in the Moon. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? That's that whole thing with him and Andy Kaufman. I remember being a kid and seeing that on Letterman.
Mm-hmm.
And just Jerry, that was the only thing I knew Jerry Lawler for, because I didn't get anything from Memphis growing up. So when I saw Jerry Lawler later, it was like, oh, there's that jerk that smacked Andy.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Now, if I have to, why didn't I say this? I can't remember. I forgot this because my mind is always running with different things. You do remember too who was in Gremlins 2 in the new batch. Come on.
No, you're gonna have to remind me, because
What you gonna do when the Hulkster goes wild on the Gremlins like you?
I forgot.
I know. So I forgot about that. He was in that. So we'll put the Hulkster up there too in Gremlins 2, because that was just whatever. I will consider The Rock in one movie because he was still a wrestler at the time, but I think The Rock was awesome in Be Cool.
Oh yeah, because he went against character.
That's right.
He went completely against character, because I forgot about Be Cool.
And I got to give Batista credit too for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he turned into like the star.
So yeah, man, that's kind of our rundown then. I mean, anybody else you could think of offhand? If not, we'll kind of wrap up our ideas of the.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's been so many guys, and like you said, you went back and researched a bunch of stuff that I didn't. I didn't research. I was just kind of going off some memory. But
here's something else for you, okay? And I promise I'm going to quit this. You love you love Rowdy
too much.
You love Roddy Piper so much, okay?
Yeah.
Go back, look on YouTube, look on Netflix, and look for the movie Buy a Cell, 1987. Trust me, you'll never watch another Piper movie again. I'm just saying. That's all I've got to say. Now, this was released a year before he did They Live. All right? That's all I got to say.
Buy a Cell? Is that what it's called?
Buy and Sell, but the cell is spelled as in like a jail cell.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well.
I'm just saying, man, you got to watch it. It's so garbage. The other cool people in there, Michael Winslow from Police Academy is in it.
Oh, my gosh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, well, now I'll have to go look.
Yep, you'll thank me.
Paul White was in the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Jingle All the Way.
He was also in Waterboy.
That's right. Captain Insano.
That's right.
That's just the greatest one ever.
John Cena, too, was in, what the heck was the Amy Schumer movie that we just had a few years ago, which he was great in?
Trainwreck with him and LeBron James.
Yeah, he was great in that, too.
He was like half impotent.
Uh-huh.
Well, I won't say it's against type for him, but it was a different look. He was in a movie with Tina Fey, and he played a drug dealer, had like neck tattoos.
I did not see that movie.
It was pretty good too. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, he's had a few.
I forgot The Chaperone with Triple H.
Well, that's another one of those WWE straight to video promotions. Randy Orton had one. That was that. It's so bad I can't remember the name of it now. But 13 Blocks or something like that.
13 Pieces of Shit. I like to give it that name myself.
Yeah. I mean, there's some dandies over the years. Some just total garbage.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you're out there listening, you can think of one. Feel free to tweet to us. I mean, you know what? There's so many movies out there. I mean, things that come to mind. And I trust me, I watch too much crap. Rob Van Dam had a movie, I think, called like Black Mask 2 or some shit like that. I can't remember when that, but I mean, they've all got bad movies because they're trying to make ends meet. That's pretty much it.
Now, Stone Cold was in one with Vinnie Jones called The Condemned, where they were trapped on an island.
Yeah.
That actually wasn't that bad.
Stone Cold's not a bad actor, actually, to tell you the truth. So
no, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, but Oh, there's just see, that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this, because there's so much out there that you could go on. I mean, you get somebody that really digs deep into this stuff.
Like me?
Well, yeah. I mean,
well, I knew I was going to, because here's the thing. If we're going to do this, I don't want to say what everybody else says. I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend a few minutes and I'm just going to find the shittiest movies I can possibly find. And then I made sure, too, that I get a little info on it and watch the trailer and see what's going on, just so I could make sure I knew how bad the movie was. So there you go.
And your suffering pays off for the rest of us.
Yeah, I will. I will do that. All right. Well, that concludes our look at some of our favorite and some of the worst movies and wrestlers in movies that we feel are the worst of all time.
By God, it's a hot tag!
So with that, let's jump into a hot tag segment, Tom. We have done this in a few weeks, and I will start off, and all right. I will say Smackdown 1000.
Smackdown 1000. Well, I would say they tried to cram a whole lot in 2 hours. I was looking forward to seeing Evolution, and that didn't really disappoint. It was just nice to see the guys there together. I didn't really care for the end with The Undertaker. I mean, they sped him up on his entrance and his exit. They could have got probably a few more people out for people to see. And then I was surprised at the pop Vince McMahon got coming out. That was the loudest I've heard an arena for WWE in a while.
And that has a lot to say about what they're doing with their talent.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
But, I got an idea. This Vincent K. McMahon would make a great face for the company. Get rid of Roman and put the belt on him.
I got to say, I remember watching the first episode of Smackdown, so kudos to them for 1,000 shows. I mean,
wasn't that the one where Shawn super kicked Triple H? Or super kicked The Rock when they were wrestling in the main event, right? Triple H and The Rock?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I do remember that too, watching it live. I think it was on UPN at the time.
I was kind of hoping for the giant fist back on the stage, just as a callback to the...
I hate to say it, but you know what? I didn't watch. I have not been interested in what WWE's been putting out in some time. I'll go back and on Twitter, I'll check and you know what I mean? I'll catch up on what's going on. But I got more important things to do than waste 2 hours even on this, because I think... Well, here's my problem.
DVR'd and forwarded.
Yeah, but the problem is that, when they did Raw's 25-year anniversary they did, it was so bad.
Because really, they did Raw 1000, and I would argue was better than their 25th anniversary.
It was, yeah. But I mean, I thought Raw 25 missed the opportunity to what they should have been. And I looked at that and I said, they'll screw up Raw. They'll screw up SmackDown 1000. And so I just kind of watched on Twitter to see the highlights. It's nice to see Rey Mysterio back. That's cool. And for who gives a shit, great. Evolution, whatever. I never was a fan of Evolution. Didn't care about them. It was a cheap knockoff of the Four Horsemen. That's pretty much what it was. Something to get Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista over, using the name of Ric Flair. That's what that organization was for. Whatever. But I'd also kind of checked out in WWE for a while, and I think right around that time, as those guys started to come into their own, is when I just didn't give a shit for a while. And I can honestly say that I've never been a big SmackDown fan. A lot of the stuff that happened on SmackDown, I'd watch Raw, but I hardly ever made SmackDown appointment TV, partially because when SmackDown was on Friday nights, I was much more having fun going out with my wife and hanging out at a bar, having dinner or whatever, than watching SmackDown at home. I got better things to do.
Friday nights is a bad night for TV.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, and even when it moved to Thursdays, I forgot about it and just didn't really care. I have noticed that since it's gone live on Tuesdays, I will catch it more often, but SmackDown never was the go-to show for me. In my eyes, it reminded me a lot of Thursday Thunder. It was the B show. It's always been the B show, and to me, it was like whatever.
It existed to begin with.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been to house shows. I mean, I've actually been to SmackDown tapings before.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, and they're cool to see. I mean, I've gotten to see AJ Styles and all those guys. That's great, but it's still not a go-to show for me, no matter what. So, for those people who have been tried and true fans who've watched SmackDown all that time, I hope you were entertained. I hope you were excited and enjoyed. But to me, it was whatever. Didn't really care.
a topic that everyone's been talking about, and actually WWE's been trying to not talk about, and that would be their next upcoming event in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people are wanting them to not do the show and back out and do all these things. You know, I've done one of these back and forth things of what to say when it comes to this, because I think the first thing people need to understand is corporations there is no moral code for corporations.
The bottom line.
Yeah, they're there to make money. And if Saudi Arabia is going to pay them $50 million to haul a bunch of their guys there and wrestle for 5 hours, they're going to make the money. I understand. Fans are upset. And it does make sense that we can't let a country like that get away, if they find out it's true, is get away with killing a journalist just because he was writing things about their country that they didn't like. That's a whole other issue right there. But the problem of it is as a fan, if you're upset and you want WWE to stop what they're doing, you have to talk with your wallet. Cancel your network. If you're not happy with what they're doing, cancel your network. Stop going to the shows. Don't buy the t-shirt. Don't watch the TV show. That's your voice, because I hate to say it, but unfortunately, they're not going to listen to you crying on Twitter for 5 or 6 days. They don't care. Their big thing is they have to make their stockholders happy. And their stockholders are happy. Why? When they're making money. And you know what? If you stop spending money and they don't make money, that's when they have a problem. You can just go back to the Fabulous Moolah, the big uproar that happened. Nothing got done. They just played dumb until they started complaining to the big sponsor, Snickers. Once they heard about it and thought about maybe pulling out, not being involved in it, that's when things changed. So no matter what people do, they can sit there and they can complain left and right. Unless you're costing a company money, nothing is going to happen. And my personal opinion is, more than likely, this event's going to go on and it's not going to be a problem. Unless video or audio shows up, that's really the only time that this is going to stop, but more than likely, they're going to go there and they're going to wrestle and there's going to be no problem unless the fans out there decide that enough's enough and they pull all their money.
Yeah, it all goes back to what I called it before, the Saudi Arabia oil cash money grab for the WWE.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. And the fact that everyone is now, because of what happened to the journalists, now they're voicing their opinion. Where were these people in the uproar?
This has been happening forever there.
I know it. That's what I'm saying. The women can't wrestle, and if they do have someone wrestle, they pretty much got to wear a full-size onesie that covers everything on their body.
Well, they can't wrestle there at all. They can't wrestle there at all. But the big problem is they're helping Saudi Arabia in making propaganda that they're a country that is changing. That's all this is. They're paying tons of money to have. If you look online, you see those photos with all these princes with Roman Reigns. Hey, we're cool. No, you're not. You're paying tons of money to have these photos and try to make people think that you've changed. And in reality, you're just wanting a better appearance out there or better image. And that's why you've opened your doors to all these guys and you're willing to pay all this money. But the reality is the real problem that everyone has had with that country has not changed.
Nope. And I go back to what you said. It's not going to until people quit spending their money on this stuff. So.
And that's it. You know what? If you don't like what's going on, you have a say. I haven't had the WWE Network in probably 6 months. I watched WrestleMania. That's the last time I had it. My money goes to Ring of Honor or New Japan Wrestling. And you know what? That's fine with me. I'm enjoying what I'm watching. Say it with your wallet. If that's not what you want to hear, if you're not happy with what's going on, say it with your wallet. That's easy to do. And that's going to do it with our hot tag segment here on the Under the Ring Report. Tom, as always, it's been a pleasure. We got to do this. We got to do this more often, We got to do this.
I know. I've enjoyed eating my popcorn and talking about movies.
I wouldn't even call some of that shit movie. But anyway, once again, you know where to find us. We are at undertheringreport.com. Also, find us on Twitter at UTR Podcast. And before I go, I want to thank, evidently, the influx of fans that we've been having in the last week or so from Sweden. Evidently, Tom is big in Sweden. We didn't know it.
No, I'm currently talking to Pro Wrestling Tees about getting a shirt big in Sweden.
I like that. All right. All right, folks. Thanks a lot for joining us, and catch us next week on the Under the Ring Report.
You're listening to Under the Ring Report, where you can hear everybody's favorite wrestler, that's me, Rob Van Dam, the whole effing show.
Follow the Under the Ring Report on Twitter at UTRR Podcast. You can subscribe to the Under the Ring Report on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, or visit undertheringreport.com. Thanks for listening to the Under the Ring Report.